Hello Libra, welcome to Dove and Serpent Tarot. This is your weekly tarot forecast. Please like, comment, and subscribe, especially if this reading resonates with you. And also go check out the other videos that may pertain to you for your sun, moon, or rising signs, because that will give you a much more dynamic picture of what's going on this week. All right, let's get into it. Libra, what is the message? What is the situation? What is it that you need to know for this coming week? We start off with that Eight of Swords card. So let's put that into some context. Let's lay out the rest of our Dove and Serpent spread. And, that is going to include this mystery card, this confirmation card, and we're going to leave that right there until the very end. So don't go anywhere. And we're going to reveal that and see how that might tie the reading together or give us that confirmation that we're looking for. Okay. So a lot of interesting things here. We got a couple of court cards. We have some major arcana, which I think is going to be really important, and that's going to be, I think, what we're going to focus on today. We've got, let's see, a little bit of fire, a little bit of water, a little bit of air, and then our majors and our court cards. So a nice balance of things. So I really think that it's going to be an intense week, but it's going to move, it's going to flow, everything's going to be okay, because there's that balance, right? But what we see first off was that Eight of Swords, right? So there's some kind of a situation that I think you're just obsessively thinking about, right? I think there's something going on, and I think it's related to this Tower card in the recent past. I think this is kind of what you're still going through. I think there was some kind of a major upset, almost like an emergency kind of thing. Some crisis, some really intense emotional situation that you went through, but something was really, really strongly felt. It's almost like, that earthquake that does a little bit of damage and your people are still just kind of fearing it, even after the fact, right? Now, I don't think it's anything that destructive, but I do think that it might have been that intense emotionally. I think something happened. It could have been a bad breakup. It could have been some sort of a loss in your family or in your life. It could have just been some other kind of, emotional upset, emotional crisis, okay? But the point being that whatever that situation is, and I think you know what I'm talking about already, so I'm not going to speculate. But we've got this Eight of Swords business, and I think that this is you still, like I said, obsessively thinking about what happened, just going over it in your mind again and again and again, running through different scenarios, thinking how it could have been differently, what you could have done differently. It's a lot of self-doubt, a lot of over-analyzing, overthinking, right? And so I think that you're still in this mode. You're still in this kind of, this kind of mental loop where you just keep going over the situation. You keep mulling over and contemplating and thinking about what happened, that you're almost re-experiencing that same emotional crisis over and over and over again, right? And that sounds pretty traumatizing, if you ask me, to keep doing that to ourselves, right? To keep thinking, keep reliving the situation. So the Eight of Swords here, I feel like this is kind of representative of where your mind is right now, or what the situation really is about. And so I think it's really a process of letting go of that, getting out of that, finding something else to do rather than think about what happened, okay? And what I see crossing your path this week is the Three of Wands. This is an excellent card. This card is rather non-specific, though. This card doesn't say an exact function. It doesn't represent an exact, way forward or method or anything like that. It's not a concrete detail. It's more of an abstract thing, this card. And this is really about finding the peace, finding the spiritual energy, right? Finding that peace and calm space within you, okay? This is about kind of, in one sense, withdrawing your energy from all of this overthinking. And it's about placing it inwards, keeping it safe and secure, storing it up inside for the time being, right? So you really need to pull back any kind of energy or effort, any of this kind of, spiritual energy that you're putting into this psychic energy, that you're putting into all of this overthinking and reliving that situation that happened. You need to withdraw that back into yourself and just hang on to it, for the time being. Hang on to it for right now, okay? So just for now, maybe just during this reading, just focus on something else and allow yourself, your spirit, your soul to reabsorb some of that effort, some of that psychic energy, right? Just calm it down. Just bring it back in, okay? And what I see also happening is this 2 of Swords, and this is related, of course, to that 8 of Swords, right? Because it's more of that air energy, that mental energy. And I think that this 2 of Swords is kind of echoing what we said here in that abstract way of just you've got to bring that psychic energy, that spiritual energy back into yourself and stop putting it into this overthinking, this mental sphere, okay? And this is really the practical way to do that. This is to just kind of try to be at peace with what happened, right? Try to just allow yourself to release those feelings and all of that thinking, right? And just let go of it. And this is to really kind of tell yourself that it's okay. It's not your fault. You can relax. You don't have to beat yourself up over this repeatedly, okay? So this is really about that kind of letting go of all of this mental anguish and just forgive yourself. Even though nothing was your fault, it wasn't your responsibility, it wasn't, you didn't cause this necessarily. So just allow yourself to be at peace with what happened, okay? And this is not, this is not saying, well, you just snap your fingers and, oh, suddenly I'm at peace with everything now. But this is to acknowledge, maybe out loud or at least to yourself, that you deserve to get through this. You deserve the peace of mind and the quiet and the forgiveness and all of that. You deserve that, and you're going to allow that for yourself. Now, it still may be a process that takes a little bit of time, but you have to acknowledge, the first step, I think, is acknowledging that you deserve that and that you're going to work toward that, okay? So that's what we get here with this 2 of Swords. Now, directly opposite that is this Chariot. So the Chariot here is full armor, kind of ready to go, packed up and loaded, and just one step away from running away, from taking off, okay? I think that this is kind of your tendency to do that, to kind of get carried away with something. And I think that might be what's happening here with this situation, whatever that issue is in the past, because again, I said we had some major arcana. And this is the first one that we came to. So I think this is really the basis for what's going on. This is the foundation. This is the major theme, the major issue, I think, that's coming into this week. And so this is what we have to deal with. I think this is where that's our starting point, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. So with this Chariot card, I think this is your general tendency to be packed up and loaded and ready to go at a moment's notice when the situation gets kind of sketchy, gets kind of uncomfortable, gets a little agitated, gets a little bit too heavy, right? A little too serious. I think you tend to flee. And so I think that this is the kind of the tendency that you feel now, and I think this is kind of causing a little bit of this overthinking and this anxiety and this, this mental loop that we saw here, right? Of all this kind of overthinking, overanalyzing. I think it's because you have this kind of anxious energy to just run away, right? And that's a defense mechanism. That's the way that we protect ourselves. We think that if we flee the situation, we're out of danger, right? And then we can relax and we can release that anxiety. Because I think anxiety is the anticipation of danger, right? And so if you flee, if you run away from the situation, well, then you're escaping the danger, right? If there's a tiger attacking you or something. But in the modern age, I don't think it works that way. I think we would still have that anxiety. But the point being with this Chariot card is that you're holding on to this sense of urgency to flee, this kind of, this intense urging, this fight or flight kind of anxiety, right? And I think that is, that's kind of keeping you in this mental loop of just overthinking, and you're feeding on all of that kind of negative energy. And again, I think you're kind of reliving whatever that was that happened in the past, whatever this thing was, which probably wasn't all that long ago. I think you're still kind of feeding on that trauma, let's say, that energy. And it's just keeping you in this loop that you're in. And I think all of that together is what is kind of preventing you from taking all of that energy, all that fire, all that anxiety, all that urgency, just all of the effort, and just that literal energy that you're spending thinking. I mean, if it's keeping you up at night, you're not sleeping, you're not eating. I think it's about reabsorbing all of that energy and then starting to use that in a more wholesome, holistic, productive, kind of self-love, self-care kind of way. So this is about the restoration of that spiritual psychic energy. This is about the kind of reclaiming all of that effort and energy and putting it into something that's going to be more productive for you. In the immediate future, we see this card here. And this is the Prince of Swords. This is an air card. This could represent you. Obviously, Libra, you're an air sign. This could be an older masculine type of energy who is also an air sign, right? So this could, again, either be a part of yourself or it could be a literal other person. But I think either way, the idea is that your thoughts need to be redirected somewhere else. And so it could be that this is the person that you talk to. This could be your close friend, your best friend, your lover, your partner, your confidant, someone that you can turn to talk to about this and to, one, express out loud that intention that you have of getting through this, of letting it go, of forgiving yourself, whatever it is that you need to say out loud, that you deserve to have peace, you deserve to get through this, you deserve to move on, and you're going to allow that for yourself. It might be helpful to actually talk to this person about that. And this could be, again, talking to yourself, but saying those things out loud. So this is really about the redirecting of some of this mental energy, some of this thought energy that we talked about here, redirecting that to this either literal or figurative third party, right? This objective person. And it could be just a part of you, or it could be a literal person, your best friend, confidant, lover, whatever the case is. But it's about redirecting that thought energy, that mental energy. Okay. And I think that's the way that you begin to reclaim your fire there. Now we're going to move on to the path of the serpent here and see if we can get a little more insight into what's going on or what your week might sort of be like here. We see that you are trying to focus on just the daily activities, right? Whatever this situation was, we say a past trauma, but that sounds so heavy to me. I don't want to imply that this is some major crisis, although it could be. So whatever we want to call that, okay. I think you're trying to distract yourself a little bit as much as possible by focusing on the daily routine of your home, of your work, of your daily tasks. But I think this situation is affecting your daily tasks. I think that, like this Knight of Discs here, you're involved in this activity, but sometimes all of this overthinking, all of this negative energy, it just kind of stops you in your tracks, and you find it hard to continue with your daily tasks. Okay, I think that's kind of what's going on with you in a practical way. Furthermore, we see this Four of Cups energy here in the position of your relationship with someone else. So if this maybe is the relationship with this, if this is a literal person in your life, this could be the nature of that relationship. This could be talking about some other kind of relationship or your relationships in general with the people in your life that are close to you. Okay, so however it resonates, I think the energy, the message is the same. This is how you are relating to a person or some people in your life that are very close to you. And I think it's one where you try to put on like a brave face, a happy face, and you try to, smile and associate and be affectionate or do the kind of lighthearted interactions and just the kind of fun stuff with people. But behind all of that is these dark clouds and this stormy water. So I think that not only is this situation affecting your day-to-day routine, your work, your chores, that sort of thing, it's also affecting your relationships with other people. And it's affecting how you're able or unable to feel that love and connection with the people around you, right? I mean, you try, things are the Four of Cups, it's stable, it's fine, you're going through the motions kind of, but behind all of that is still that negative energy, that stormy energy. Okay. I think part of your fears and worries, concerns is this universe or world card. And this is telling me that you really don't want this to continue for a long time. You really want out of this like cycle of thinking, this loop of negative thinking, negative energy, re-experiencing this trauma, whatever that was, right? So I think you want to get out of this. You want to find the practical way to move forward and to really get beyond what happened. Let it go, move past it, forgive yourself, allow yourself to recover and have peace, or whatever it is that you need to do, whatever you want to get to. I think you're concerned that it's going to take a while. I think you're concerned that you're going to be kind of stuck in this loop. I mean, that card's a literal loop there. I think you're worried that you're going to be stuck there for a while, that this is just kind of going to be never ending, right? But as we already talked about, there is a way through this. And I think you can, and I think you will get through all of this. And now, as in the long-term outcome, we see this art or temperance card. And what I really feel like here is that you're taking this trauma, whatever this experience was, that was negative and painful and hurts and it sucks really bad, and you keep kind of reliving it in your mind. I think what's going to ultimately happen is that you're going to take that situation and all of that energy, all of that feeling, and you're going to kind of like weld it into yourself. Right? It's going to become part of you, and it's going to make you stronger because you've gone through this fire. Like, what happens to metal when it goes through this fiery process? Well, it gets stronger. It gets more indestructible, more like undefeatable, and just really, really hard, right? And I think that you're going to end up taking this situation and you're going to use it as a source of strength. It's going to make you a stronger person in the future. Okay, so I think there's a really good outcome here. And, you know, this seemed like a negative reading. That seemed like there was a lot of pain in this reading today. But I think it has a good ending. I think it has a clear way forward, and I think the future is really going to be good for you. It's going to be a good state of things for you because I think you're going to be stronger. I think you're going to do like this art or temperance card here, and you're going to weld that situation, that energy, all that feeling, you're going to weld it into you, and it's going to make you so much stronger for having gone through this. Because you can't undo it. You can't unexperience it, right? So you might as well use the experience and use the energy and all the feelings associated with it for something good and productive and to improve yourself. So I think you're going to be a lot stronger for having gone through this. The confirmation card, bonus card. Okay, 10 of Wands. This is saying a couple different things. First thing it's saying is using this energy, using your psychic energy to stay in this loop of thought, this negative thinking, overthinking, overanalyzing, is going to eventually drain your energy. It's going to drain your spiritual energy, your vitality, your physical, mental, emotional energy is going to be completely zapped, right? By staying where you're at, keep doing what you're doing, and it's going to just be exhausting. You're going to be fatigued and drained of all of that vitality and energy, right? The other side of this card is that through this process that we're talking about, and through the work of really assimilating, recapitulating, absorbing that energy back into yourself, which is what we originally talked about here with this 3 of Wands, by doing that work, you're going to be experiencing an overflow of this vital energy, this spiritual, fiery, subtle energy, but this really, really intense, vital energy and strength about you, okay? You're going to have an abundance of that. And this is going to be you even stronger than before, okay? So the situation really could go one of two ways. It could go a 10 of Wands, complete drain, complete loss of energy. Every bit of vitality is gone from you because of all of this. Or the other way, the second way it could go, is that you're going to be so much stronger and have so much more vitality, so much more strength and energy and spiritual fire than you ever had before because of this situation. So I guess you have to kind of pick which way you're going to go. And that was what we were looking at here with this 2 of Swords. You have to make that conscious decision to allow yourself to get through this, to allow yourself to recover and to redirect this energy. Because it's going to go one of two ways. And you know what those two ways are, and it's really about Now it's about the conscious choice and expressing that conscious choice, either to that part of your own mind, your own soul, or to this third-party person that we are talking about. Okay. Libra, thank you so much for letting me read for you today. We're going to look at this a little bit more in the extended version. You can become a member of this channel by clicking on the link in the description box. Otherwise, thank you so much for letting me read for you today. This was your weekly tarot forecast. Thank you.